They invited humans to the Deathworld Summit, and humans treated it like HFY. He had been in the Space Command office for hours, reviewing reports from the latest exploration missions. The message came through a secure channel, and the blinking red light on the console signaled that it was urgent. Eric leaned forward and pressed the button to open the transmission. A holographic image appeared above the console. It showed an alien face, blue and tall, with eyes that glowed faintly. Eric had seen alien faces before, but something about this one felt different. "Captain Eric Miller," the alien said in a voice that was calm but commanding, "you are invited to the Deathworld Summit." Eric frowned. "Deathworld Summit," he repeated. The name sounded dangerous. He had read about Deathworlds before, planets that were extreme and harsh, with deadly climates, toxic environments, and predators that could kill a human in seconds. "Yes," the alien replied. "It is a gathering of the strongest civilizations in this sector. Humans are invited this year. Attendance is not mandatory, but it is highly recommended. You will be allowed to demonstrate your abilities." Eric blinked. "Demonstrate our abilities," the alien nodded. "You are known as a young but resourceful species. The other members of the summit wish to see what humans can do. Prepare yourselves accordingly. Arrival coordinates will be sent shortly." Before Eric could ask more, the hologram disappeared. He sat back in his chair, rubbing his eyes. The Deathworld Summit. Humans had never been invited to anything like this. He stood and walked to the planning room. There, his team waited. The team was small but highly skilled. There was Alice Gray, the ship's engineer, Peter Collins, the weapons officer, and Lily Adams, the communications specialist. They had been together on many missions, but none had prepared them for this. "I just got the message," Eric said. "We're invited to a Deathworld Summit. Apparently, aliens want to see what humans can do." Peter raised an eyebrow. "Deathworld? Isn't that just a polite way of saying, don't survive this planet if you can't fight?" Alice frowned. "Do they know humans even survive harsh environments? Most of us barely make it through deserts and frozen zones on Earth." Lily smiled faintly. "That might be the point. They want to see what makes humans special." Eric nodded. "Exactly. That's why I'm calling this a test. And if they think humans are weak, we'll prove them wrong." The team began to prepare. The ship, the Horizon, was loaded with supplies. They had food, water, medical kits, and the usual exploration gear. But this time, Eric added a few special items. He requested some old Earth weapons, even simple rifles and knives. He wanted to make a point. Humans could fight with intelligence, skill, and courage, not just technology. When they finally left orbit, the stars stretched across the sky like long streaks of fire. Eric felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He looked around at his crew. "Remember," he said, "we don't know what to expect. These aliens may be more powerful than us, but humans survive where others fail. We adapt, we think, we act. That is what will make the difference." Alice adjusted her gloves. "And don't forget, we also have humor and stubbornness. That has helped humans survive wars and disasters on Earth." Peter grinned. "So, we might irritate them as much as impress them." Lily laughed. "Let's just make sure we impress first, irritate later." They traveled for days in silence, the stars slowly moving past the windows of the Horizon. Eric spent the time studying the coordinates that had been sent by the aliens. The Deathworld Summit was held on a planet called Varkin 9. Reports indicated that it was extremely dangerous, with temperatures that could freeze metal and winds that could strip the flesh from bones if someone was not careful. The landscape was jagged, with massive rock formations and deep chasms. Predators, some bigger than buildings, roamed the planet freely. Eric wondered what humans could do that would impress alien species who had evolved for millions of years in harsher conditions. But then he remembered the stories of human history: wars, survival, exploration. Humans had climbed mountains taller than any alien structure. They had crossed deserts, sailed oceans, and survived climates that no other species could. Humans did not give up. They adapted. That was the key. When the horizon approached Varkin 9, the planet looked even more dangerous than the reports had said. A storm swirled across the horizon, lightning cutting through dark clouds. The surface glowed with strange colors, green and purple mixed with black, as if the planet itself were alive. Eric looked at his team. "Welcome to the Deathworld Summit," he said. "Let's make them see what humans are made of." The landing was rough. The horizon's shields shook as the ship pierced the planet's atmosphere. The crew held tight, bracing themselves as the ship descended toward the landing zone marked by the alien coordinates. Rocks flew past the windows, carried by the violent winds. Eric gritted his teeth, guiding the ship carefully. Finally, with a loud crash and a cloud of dust, the horizon landed. The crew quickly donned their protective suits. The air was thin, and the wind howled like a living thing. Alice scanned the environment with her instruments. The atmosphere is mostly nitrogen with a mix of exotic gases. Oxygen is low, but our suits can handle it. Peter checked the weapons. And the predators? Any signs yet? Alice shook her head. Not close, but the sensors show movement. Large, fast, and aggressive. Eric looked at the horizon. In the distance, he could see towers of metal and glass. They were not buildings, but platforms, each floating above the ground. Alien ships hovered around them, landing and taking off continuously. The summit had already begun. A voice came through the communication link. "Welcome, humans." It was the same alien species that had invited them. Their blue skin glowed faintly under the stormy sky. They were taller than humans, at least 2 meters. Their eyes reflected intelligence and curiosity. "You are late, but not unimportant. Step forward and join the others." Eric led his team out of the horizon. The ground shook under their feet and the wind tried to push them back, but they moved steadily, each step measured and careful. They approached a landing platform where representatives from dozens of other species waited. Some had multiple arms, some had wings, some had exoskeletons that glinted like metal. The aliens looked at the humans with a mix of interest and amusement. One of the taller aliens with silver markings on his face spoke. "You are fragile, your planet is weak, yet here you are coming to a Deathworld summit. Why?" Eric took a step forward. "Because humans do not run from challenges. We face them, we survive, and we learn. That is why we are here." The alien studied him, tilting his head. "Brave words, or foolish, we shall see." The humans were led to a central area where other species had set up demonstrations of their strength and skills. Some aliens had machines that could crush rocks with a thought. Others had weapons that fired energy beams with deadly precision. A few even displayed creatures from their homeworlds, trained to fight or survive impossible environments. Alice whispered to Eric, "This is going to be tough. None of this looks easy to compete with." Eric nodded. "We don't have the strongest weapons or the fastest reflexes, but humans have something different, creativity and willpower. We will show them." The first challenge was announced. Aliens would test the humans' endurance by exposing them to the wilds of Varkin 9 for 1 full day. They would need to navigate dangerous terrain, survive predators, and find a safe location marked by the aliens. Peter muttered, "Sounds like a normal day in the army, but with bigger monsters." The humans were led to the drop point. The wind was stronger here, and the ground was rocky and uneven. Strange plants that seemed alive and aware swayed as if following their movement. Eric checked his team. "Remember, stick together, use your minds, watch the environment carefully, and don't panic." The moment they were released, the wind hit them with full force. Rocks rolled past their feet. A massive shadow passed over them. Eric looked up and saw a predator the size of a small building, with 4 legs and spikes along its back, observing them. "Stay calm," Eric said, raising his hand. "We know how to survive. Let's move." The team began to walk carefully, using their knowledge of climbing and balance. They avoided areas where the ground looked unstable and used rocks and formations as cover. When the predator started to move toward them, Peter used a flare to distract it. The flare exploded in bright colors and the creature paused, unsure what to do. Alice used the distraction to lead the team up a jagged cliff. The climb was exhausting, but humans had one advantage: persistence. They kept going step by step until they reached a higher ground where the winds were less violent. Lily checked the map projected in her suit. "There's a safe zone not far from here. We can make it if we move carefully." Eric nodded. "Then we move. Slowly, steadily, like we always do. Humans survive by thinking, not just fighting." As they moved, other aliens watched. Some seemed impressed, others looked confused. Humans were small compared to many species at the summit, but they moved with purpose and intelligence. By the time night fell, the team had navigated half the dangerous terrain. They had avoided predators, used the environment to their advantage, and remained calm under extreme conditions. Eric paused to look at his team. "You see that?" he said, pointing to a cliff edge where a predator had been following them earlier. It was now stuck in a narrow chasm, unable to move. "That is how humans survive, not by strength alone, but by strategy." Alice smiled, exhausted but proud. "We might actually impress them." Eric looked at the dark sky, filled with strange stars and colors. "This is only the beginning. They think humans are weak. Soon, they will see what we are really capable of." And with that, the humans continued through the night, stepping into the unknown, ready to prove that they belonged at the Deathworld summit. The sun rose slowly over Varkin 9, but it was no ordinary sunrise. The sky was colored in deep red and orange, mixed with purple streaks, and the ground shimmered with strange minerals that reflected the light like broken glass. Eric Miller and his team had spent the night in a small cave-like shelter they found on a cliff. The wind had calmed slightly, but the planet's dangers were far from over. Eric looked at his team. "We made it through the first night," he said, "but the summit isn't about surviving a night. It's about showing them what humans can do when everything is against them." Alice Gray adjusted her equipment. "The air is getting harder to breathe. I think the gas concentration changes during the day." The summit organizers said nothing about that. Peter Collins laughed dryly. "Of course not. They want to see how we react under stress." Lily Adams looked at the horizon. "Do you see that? Movement, lots of it. Some kind of group hunting together, I think." Eric squinted. "Keep calm, let's stay hidden. Use the rocks and terrain as cover." The creatures moving in the distance were massive, four-legged predators, faster than any human could run. They moved as a pack, scanning the ground for prey. Eric realized that the summit organizers wanted to see if humans could deal with coordinated threats. He remembered what he had told his team: humans survive with strategy, intelligence, and courage. Now they would have to prove it. "Here's the plan," Eric said quietly. "We use their hunting behavior against them. Alice, prepare the motion traps. Peter, get the flare launchers ready. Lily, monitor their movements and tell us when to move. I'll lead the team across the valley to the safe zone." The humans moved slowly, keeping low. Eric counted each step, making sure they did not make sudden noises. The predators had sharp senses, and any mistake could be fatal. Alice set the first trap, a simple device made with cables and weights, designed to trip the predators if they stepped on it. Peter aimed his flares at points where the predators might chase them. Lily's eyes never left the pack, calculating their speed and direction. As they reached the valley, the predators noticed the humans. One of the creatures let out a loud roar and the others followed. They began to chase the humans, faster than Eric had expected. "Now," he shouted. Alice triggered the first trap. A predator tripped and fell, causing the others to hesitate. Peter fired a flare into the air, blinding some of the creatures temporarily. The humans ran, jumping over rocks and sliding down slopes. Their movements were not just fast, they were smart. They anticipated the predators' paths and used the terrain to slow them down. One predator ran into a narrow chasm and got stuck. Another fell into a shallow pit trap Alice had prepared earlier. Lily kept track of the predators' positions. 3 down, 2 still following us, moving fast, she called out. Eric looked ahead. There was a ridge they could climb. Move to the ridge, keep them below us. Once we're up, we'll have the advantage. The team climbed carefully, using ropes and grips to pull themselves up the cliff. The predators tried to follow but could not navigate the steep rocks. Once they reached the top, Eric took a deep breath. We survived the first chase. Now let's see if they can adapt. Below them, the predators regrouped, circling the base of the cliff. Eric knew they had to move again. The summit was not just about surviving, it was about problem-solving in extreme situations. Here, that's what we do next, Eric said. We'll use the rocks and environment to make barriers. Then, we'll create a path to the safe zone using flares and sounds to guide them away. Humans don't just run, we think and act. Alice and Peter worked quickly, setting rocks as barriers, creating choke points that slowed the predators. Lily used a small sound emitter to create noises, making the predators move in the wrong direction. Eric guided the team through this makeshift path, keeping everyone safe. Hours passed like this. The predators adapted, but the humans adapted faster. By the afternoon, they reached the first checkpoint marked by the summit organizers. A holographic panel appeared, projecting a message in several alien languages. Eric stepped forward. You made it through the initial challenge, the hologram said. Few species have survived even half this journey, but your test is not over. The next challenge will test your intelligence and cooperation, not just survival instincts. Eric nodded. Good, we can do that. Humans are strong in teamwork and thinking under pressure. The panel projected a map of the next area. It was a massive canyon, filled with jagged cliffs, fast rivers, and areas that glowed with dangerous radiation. There were signals of alien technology scattered around, showing the path the humans had to take. Peter frowned. Radiation zones. Are we supposed to just walk through them? Alice shook her head. No, we need to use the environment and our gear. Humans have always used tools to survive. We'll figure it out. Lily studied the map. If we move in small groups and use shields for radiation, we can cross, but timing is critical. Eric looked at the team. Then we move, slowly and carefully. Stick together, watch each other, and don't panic. The humans entered the canyon. The radiation zones were dangerous, but they used shields and timed their movements perfectly. They avoided the most dangerous areas and used the natural shadows to hide from flying predators. At one point, a massive creature emerged from the river, a water predator with multiple limbs and sharp claws. It roared and charged at them. Eric reacted immediately. Scatter, use the terrain, don't fight it directly. Alice used a flare to distract the creature while Peter guided the team behind a rock formation. Lily used her communicator to send signals to the creature, confusing it further. The creature lost interest and returned to the river. Eric breathed heavily. This is what humans do. We survive without necessarily being the strongest. We think, we plan, and we act together. They continued through the canyon, facing multiple challenges: poisonous plants, shifting rocks, and alien creatures. Each time, humans used their intelligence and teamwork to overcome the obstacles. By nightfall, they reached the second checkpoint. A new hologram appeared. You have shown endurance, intelligence, and adaptability, but the final challenge is social. You must interact with species that have never seen humans before and negotiate passage through the next zone. Eric smiled. Finally, something humans excel at: communication and negotiation. We can do that better than anyone else. The humans were led to a flat area where multiple alien species waited. Some were hostile-looking, with sharp teeth and armored skin. Others had delicate wings and large eyes. None had interacted with humans before. Eric stepped forward. "We come in peace," he said. "We are humans. We want to survive and participate in the summit. We do not seek to harm anyone." At first, there was silence. The aliens studied the humans, unsure how to respond. One alien with red scales stepped forward. "Your species is fragile." "How do you survive in a death world?" Eric smiled. "We survive with our minds, with cooperation, and with courage. We use tools, strategies, and each other. We face challenges instead of running from them. That is why humans are here." The alien tilted its head, considering his words. "Interesting. You are small, but you think differently from others. Perhaps you are worth observing." Other aliens nodded. Slowly, the humans were allowed to move forward. Their intelligence, teamwork, and courage had earned them respect. Eric looked at his team. "See, humans are not just strong or fast. We survive and thrive by thinking and working together. That is what makes us different." As they moved toward the final zone for the day, the humans felt a growing confidence. They had faced predators, radiation, and dangerous terrain. They had communicated with unknown species and earned respect. Eric knew the summit was far from over. There would be more challenges, bigger and more dangerous. But for now, humans had proven something important. They belonged among the strongest species, not because of physical power, but because of intelligence, courage, and will. That night, as they camped near the canyon, Eric looked up at the strange sky. "Tomorrow," he said, "we face the final trials, but today we have shown them what humans are capable of, and tomorrow we will do even more." Alice smiled. "It feels good to be recognized, even by species that think we are weak," Peter laughed. "Weak, not after today. I think we've changed their minds." Lily added quietly, "And we haven't even started showing our best skills yet." Eric nodded. "Exactly. Humans survive and adapt. That is what we do. And at the Deathworld Summit, they are about to see just how far we can go." The wind howled around them, and strange lights danced across the canyon walls. The humans rested, but their minds were already planning for the next day. Every challenge was a chance to prove themselves further. Every danger was an opportunity to show that humans were more than what anyone expected. And as the stars shone over the alien planet, the humans slept, ready to face whatever came next. The next morning on Varkin 9, the air was sharp and heavy. A strange fog rolled across the canyon, glowing faintly with a greenish hue. Eric Miller and his team woke early, their bodies sore but minds alert. The first 2 days had been tests of endurance, strategy, and intelligence. Now, the summit organizers promised something new: extreme physical challenges combined with alien technology. Eric looked at his team. "Today will be tougher. The previous challenges tested our minds and teamwork. Today, we will see how humans handle danger that is completely unknown." Alice tightened her gloves. "Unknown danger. That's the kind we handle best." Peter smirked. "I hope this time they send something really big. I want a real challenge." Lily shook her head, smiling. "Don't underestimate them. These challenges are meant to test every skill we have. One wrong step and it's over." They received their instructions via a holographic panel, projected in front of them by the summit organizers. It showed a massive, jagged valley filled with enormous structures. Some were natural cliffs, others were alien constructions that moved and changed shape. The task was simple in description but nearly impossible in practice. Reach the top of the valley, avoiding the traps, creatures, and environmental hazards, and retrieve a beacon from the summit's peak. Eric studied the map carefully. "We have to move as a team. Keep eyes on each other, watch for traps and predators, and remember, humans survive because we think, not just because we react." Alice nodded. "I'll handle environmental hazards. My sensors can detect toxic gases, unstable ground, and hidden traps. We'll move safer than anyone else here." Peter checked their gear. "I'll be ready for creatures, and if anything tries to stop us, we'll find a way around or deal with it." Lily looked at the team. "And I'll keep communications open." If we need to signal for anything or coordinate movement, I've got it." The humans stepped into the valley. The fog made it hard to see, and strange noises echoed around them. From the mist, alien creatures emerged, some small and fast, others enormous, with armored bodies and long claws. Eric led the team carefully, moving through shadows, using rocks and alien structures as cover. One massive creature with 6 legs and glowing eyes charged from the fog. It moved faster than any human, but the team stayed calm. Peter fired a flare, drawing its attention. Alice used a smoke device to confuse it. Eric led the team around a cliff edge, and the creature chased them only to fall into a hidden pit. Lily called out, "All clear, keep moving." As they advanced, the terrain became more dangerous. Giant rocks shifted under their weight, rivers of molten liquid flowed unpredictably, and alien technology moved in ways humans had never seen. Platforms rose and fell, creating paths that could collapse at any moment. Alice scanned continuously. The platforms are mechanical. They respond to weight and movement. Step carefully. I'll guide us safely. Eric nodded. Good. Move slowly, keep balance, and trust each other. The humans climbed, jumped, and balanced through the valley. Other alien species watched from a distance, some clearly impressed. Humans were small and fragile-looking compared to many creatures there, but their coordination and careful planning made them seem almost untouchable. Hours passed, and exhaustion began to show. The fog thickened, reducing visibility. Eric paused, checking his team. Drink water, rest a moment, and plan the next steps. The beacon is close. Don't rush, it's easy to make a mistake here, Peter grumbled. Easy to make a mistake. Everything here is designed to kill us, but I like it. Lily smiled faintly. We survive by planning. That's what makes us human. Look at the others. They are strong, but many of them act first and think later. That's where we have an advantage. Eric led them toward the peak, where a faint glow indicated the beacon. As they climbed, the fog cleared slightly, revealing the true danger. A massive crevasse separated them from the final platform. The only way across was a narrow bridge made of alien material, shifting and unstable. Alice studied it. It's not solid. We have to move one at a time. The bridge reacts to weight and speed. If we rush, it collapses. Eric nodded. We go carefully, Peter first. Alice, you second. Lily and I last. Watch the signals from each other. We move as one, even if separated physically. Peter stepped onto the bridge, moving slowly. The bridge shifted, wobbling under his weight, but Peter's balance and focus kept him steady. Once he reached the other side, he signaled back. Alice moved next, carefully placing each foot, testing the material with a pole. She made it across, breathing heavily but smiling. Lily moved forward, coordinating signals with Eric. We're almost there, she called out. Eric stepped on the bridge last. It shifted and twisted under him, but he relied on training and experience. Halfway across, a section began to collapse. He grabbed a support bar, swung across, and landed safely on the platform. Together, the humans reached the final area. The beacon glowed in the center, surrounded by alien markings. Eric stepped forward, activating it. A signal shot into the sky, indicating completion of the challenge. Below, aliens watched. Some were impressed. Some were surprised. A few whispered among themselves. Humans had completed a challenge designed for species far stronger and faster. Alice exhaled. I can't believe we did that. That bridge, it was impossible for most species. Peter laughed. Impossible for most, not for humans. Lily nodded. And we did it together, that's what counts. Eric looked around. They wanted to test our strength, agility, and intelligence. We passed all three, but more importantly, we did it with teamwork and strategy. That is what humans do. As they began to descend from the peak, the fog returned, and the valley seemed even more dangerous. But the humans moved with confidence now. They had faced the impossible and survived. The next challenge awaited. A new set of platforms rose from the ground, each one a puzzle of movement and timing. Creatures were scattered across the terrain, testing reflexes and adaptability. Eric studied the layout. We've shown strength and teamwork. Now we show adaptability and intelligence. Every species will try to outsmart us. We have to be ready. Alice's sensors detected hidden traps. Some of these platforms are not just mechanical. They have energy fields that react to motion. If we step wrong, we could be electrocuted or trapped. Peter grinned. Good thing humans are smart. We'll find the way through without touching anything dangerous. The humans began to move carefully. Eric guided them across platforms, timing each step, watching the signals of alien technology. Each movement required thought, speed, and trust in the others. A single mistake could end the challenge, and perhaps more. A flying predator suddenly appeared, swooping toward them. Peter grabbed a flare and launched it, creating a bright distraction. Lily used the comms to coordinate signals, guiding the team away from danger. Alice calculated the safest path, weaving them through moving platforms. Eric looked at his team. This is it. Humans survive because we act together. We adapt to the unexpected. That is our strength. By the end of the day, the humans had completed the third challenge. Exhausted but victorious, they reached a safe zone. Other species observed them, some with admiration, some with disbelief. Humans had survived situations that were designed to eliminate weaker species. At the summit headquarters, the organizers sent a message. Humans have demonstrated resilience, intelligence, and teamwork beyond expectations. Few species have completed this challenge. Your kind is remarkable, Eric smiled. We are just getting started. They don't know everything humans can do yet, Alice stretched. I think we've earned their respect today, Peter laughed. Respect is good, but tomorrow I want them to see our courage. Humans don't just survive, they face danger head-on, Lily nodded. And we'll do it together. That's what makes us human. We survive as one. As night fell on Varkin 9, the humans rested. The stars above were unfamiliar, but the sense of achievement warmed them. They had faced challenges that no human had ever faced before. Yet each obstacle only proved what Eric had always believed. Humans were not the strongest physically, but they were the most adaptable, clever, and courageous species. Eric looked at his team. Tomorrow, the final trials begin. They will test our strength, courage, and diplomacy. But no matter what happens, we have already shown them that humans belong at this summit. Alice smiled. Then let's get some rest. We'll need every bit of energy for tomorrow. Peter laughed. And I can't wait to see their faces when we show them what humans can do under pressure. Lily looked at the horizon. They invited us to the death world. They expected weakness. Instead, they found humans. Eric nodded. Exactly. And tomorrow, they will see just how far humans can go. And as the strange lights of Varkin 9 danced across the valley, the humans slept, ready to face the greatest challenges yet, ready to prove once more that survival was not about strength alone. It was about courage, intelligence, and the unbreakable human spirit. The morning on. Varkin 9 was quiet, almost peaceful, but Eric Miller knew it was only an illusion. The previous days had tested humans physically and mentally. Now, the summit organizers had announced a challenge that would test something entirely different: diplomacy, leadership, and courage. Humans would have to interact with multiple alien species at once, negotiate passage through dangerous zones, and find ways to work with beings whose minds and customs were entirely foreign. Eric gathered his team near the horizon. Today we face a new kind of challenge, he said. Strength and intelligence got us this far, but now humans have to show what makes us exceptional: courage, communication, and creativity in dealing with other species. Alice Gray adjusted her pack. Sounds like a social minefield, but humans have survived wars, built alliances, and solved impossible problems on Earth. I think we're ready. Peter Collins grinned. Social minefield or not, I like challenges where brains and courage matter more than brute strength. This is our kind of test. Lily Adams nodded. We just have to stay calm and observe. We learn quickly and humans are good at reading others. That will help. The humans were led to a large plateau. Dozens of alien species were gathered there, some observing quietly, others clearly eager to challenge or intimidate newcomers. Many of the species were enormous, some with multiple limbs, some with armored bodies, others with delicate wings. Their expressions, gestures, and colors were unfamiliar, making it hard to read their intentions. A tall, silver-skinned alien approached Eric and his team. Its eyes glowed softly. "Humans," it said, "you have survived the trials so far. But this test will require more than survival skills. You must negotiate safe passage through the Nebra Expanse, a zone controlled by multiple hostile species. Only those who prove clever and courageous may proceed." Eric nodded. "We accept. Humans are used to dangerous situations, and we work together to solve them." The silver alien studied him, then waved a hand. A holographic map appeared above the plateau, showing the Nebra Expanse. The zone was enormous, with floating rocks, shifting platforms, and several clusters controlled by alien tribes, each with their own customs and rules. The humans would need to pass through without provoking conflict, or find a way to turn potential hostility into cooperation. Alice frowned. "These zones are designed to trap us. Some of these species probably want to test strength or intimidate us. How do we make them cooperate?" Eric smiled. "Humans survive by being unpredictable, adaptable, and brave. We'll use our minds, our courage, and our willingness to work together. That's how we succeed." The humans entered the Nebra Expanse. Immediately, they encountered the first alien tribe. They were reptilian, with thick scales and sharp claws. Their language was harsh and filled with clicking sounds. The humans raised their hands in a gesture of peace, and Eric stepped forward. "We mean no harm," he said slowly. "We are humans. We seek only passage and understanding." The leader of the tribe hissed and circled them. Alice whispered, "They look ready to attack." Eric nodded. "Stay calm. Humans survive by observing before acting. Let's see what they value." The tribe's leader suddenly extended a hand with a device. Symbols appeared in the air, forming a simple message, a test of skill. If the humans solved the puzzle, they would be allowed to pass. Failure could provoke aggression. Peter frowned. "A puzzle? We survived predators and collapsing bridges, and now we solve puzzles." Alice smiled. "That's what humans do. We adapt." The team studied the device. It required arranging energy beams in a pattern to unlock a passage. Eric and Alice coordinated the moves, Peter and Lily handled timing, and within minutes, the puzzle was solved. The device glowed and the reptilian tribe stepped back, allowing the humans to continue. Eric looked at his team. That's how humans survive: brains and courage, not just brawn. Further into the Nebra Expanse, the humans encountered a different tribe, a winged species that controlled the high platforms. They were suspicious and territorial. The humans could not fight or climb fast enough to reach them quickly. Lily suggested, "We need to communicate differently. Humans have creativity. Let's use it." Eric nodded. "Yes, show respect and skill, not force. That will earn their trust." The humans created a simple display. They used a portable hologram device to project Earth landscapes and human achievements. Images of mountains climbed, rivers crossed, and storms survived appeared in the air. The winged aliens watched silently, curious. Alice added, "This shows our history of survival. We don't just survive by chance. We adapt and plan." The winged tribe studied the projection and made a soft sound, which Eric interpreted as approval. They moved aside, clearing a path to the next zone. Peter laughed quietly. "They think humans are interesting. Not dangerous, just clever. That's exactly how we want it." The humans continued, facing more complex challenges. Some alien species demanded physical demonstrations. Others wanted proof of intelligence or cooperation. Each time, the humans adapted. They lifted heavy rocks together, solved complex energy puzzles, and coordinated movements across unstable terrain. At one point, they encountered a massive chasm with a floating bridge controlled by another alien species. The bridge's movement was unpredictable. The aliens challenged them, cross without triggering an alarm. Eric studied it. We move slowly together, step by step. Humans are coordinated. That's our advantage. Alice calculated timing. We wait for the platforms to align, then go. Peter and Lily followed the plan. Carefully, they crossed the bridge, using balance, timing, and communication. The floating bridge adjusted as they moved, but they reached the other side safely. The observing aliens were impressed. Eric said, "Humans survive because we work together, think, and never give up. That is our strength." As they moved toward the final part of the Nebro expanse, the humans encountered a situation that tested courage above all. A massive predator blocked the only exit. It was taller than any human, with armored limbs and glowing eyes. The alien species controlling the zone had left the creature as the ultimate test. Could the humans face a danger beyond their size and strength? Peter whispered, "Do we fight it?" "There's no way we can overpower it." Eric shook his head. "No, humans survive by strategy. Courage does not mean recklessness. We find a way to outthink it." The team observed the creature, noting its patterns. Alice suggested using a combination of noise, light, and movement to guide it away. Peter agreed. Lily coordinated signals while Eric created a path for escape. Step by step, the humans executed the plan. Flares flashed, noises distracted the creature, and shadows masked their movements. Slowly, the predator was guided to another area and the humans passed safely. Eric exhaled. That's courage. Not fighting blindly, but facing danger and using intelligence to survive. That is what makes humans exceptional. Finally, they reached the exit of the Nebro expanse. The holographic panel appeared once more. "Humans," it said, "you have shown intelligence, courage, and cooperation beyond expectations. You have survived challenges no other species could. Your presence here demonstrates that humans belong among the strongest." Eric smiled at his team. "We did it. We faced danger, social challenges, and extreme tests, and we survived using every skill humans have. That's what we are, adaptable, brave, and clever." Alice wiped sweat from her brow. "I think we earned their respect. They expected weakness and they found humans." Peter laughed. "Next, they'll be curious about everything else we can do. Let's show them." Lily nodded. "This is just the beginning. Humans survive, adapt, and excel. That's why we're here." As they returned to the summit headquarters, the humans felt a sense of pride. Other species observed them differently now. They were no longer just small, fragile creatures from a distant planet. They were humans, intelligent, courageous, and persistent. Eric looked at the horizon. Tomorrow, the final challenge begins. It will test everything: survival, intelligence, courage, and diplomacy. But we've already shown them the essence of humanity, and tomorrow we'll prove it even more. That night, as the strange lights of Varkin 9 flickered across the plateau, the humans rested. They had faced predators, environmental hazards, complex puzzles, and alien diplomacy. They had survived each test by thinking, planning, and working together. Eric reflected on the journey so far. Humans were not the strongest in size or weapons, but they were clever, adaptable, and unyielding. That was why they had survived Earth's harshest environments, wars, and disasters. And that same spirit had carried them through the Deathworld Summit. He looked at his team. "Rest well. Tomorrow, we finish the trials. And when we do, every species here will know that humans are extraordinary." Alice, Peter, and Lily nodded. "We are ready," they said in unison. And as the night settled over Varkin 9, the humans slept, their minds already preparing for the ultimate test. A test that would show the galaxy that humans were not just survivors, but a species capable of greatness in every way. The dawn on Varkin 9 was unlike anything humans had ever seen. The sky was alive with streaks of green and gold light, and the ground glimmered with crystal-like formations. Eric Miller and his team prepared for the final challenge of the Deathworld Summit. Everything they had faced so far, the predators, the puzzles, the diplomacy, had been preparation for this moment. The summit organizers promised that this challenge would test survival, courage, intelligence, and leadership all at once. Eric looked at his team. This is it. Everything we've done has led to this. We face danger, unpredictability, and the judgment of every species in the summit, but we are ready. Humans survive by thinking, planning, and acting together. That is how we will win this challenge. Alice Gray checked their equipment. We've handled storms, predators, and deadly terrain. We know how to adapt. This is just another problem to solve. Peter Collins smirked. And if it gets dangerous, we handle it like we always do, with courage and teamwork. Lily Adams smiled. We've faced every challenge they threw at us. Nothing will stop humans today. The humans were led to the arena for the final challenge. It was enormous, a mixture of natural cliffs, alien constructions, and moving platforms. Creatures of every kind lurked, and the environment itself seemed alive, with storms, shifting ground, and strange gases that could stun or burn. A massive holographic panel appeared above them. "Welcome, humans," said the projection, the same silver-skinned alien who had first addressed them. "This is the ultimate test. You must reach the heart of Varkin, retrieve the crystal of endurance, and return it to this point. You will face challenges that test everything: your mind, body, courage, and spirit. Only those who prove true resilience may succeed. Every other species has attempted and failed. Humans, you are the last hope for something unexpected." Eric looked at his team. "They expect us to fail, but humans survive when failure is likely. That is what makes us exceptional. Let's show them who we are." The humans stepped forward. Immediately, the environment challenged them. Wind whipped with incredible force, throwing sand and debris across their path. Rocks shifted underfoot. Lightning flashed unpredictably from the stormy sky. Alice quickly activated her sensors. The environment is unstable. Timing is everything. "We move carefully and stick together." Peter readied the flare launchers. "And if something wants to attack, we make it think twice." Lily checked communications. "I'll keep track of all signals. If any creature approaches, we'll know first." The first obstacle was a wide chasm with unstable bridges. Eric studied the bridges. "We cross one at a time. Watch the movement, maintain balance, and communicate every step." Peter went first, moving slowly and deliberately. One plank collapsed under his weight, but quick reflexes and agility kept him safe. Alice followed, adjusting her movements to the shifting planks. Lily moved with precision, observing the bridge's reactions. Eric went last, using careful steps to reach the other side. Next, they encountered a series of predators, each faster, larger, and smarter than those they had faced before. One creature, a massive quadruped with glowing eyes and armored limbs, blocked their path. Peter whispered, "We can't fight that head-on." Eric nodded. "No. Humans survive by thinking. We need a plan." The team observed. The creature had a predictable pattern. It paused after every 3 steps. Alice suggested, "We use that pause to move in unison, keeping low and quiet." Step by step, they moved. Flares distracted the creature at critical moments. Shadows and terrain masked their presence. Slowly, carefully, they passed. Lily whispered, "It's almost as if it's confused by our cooperation. Humans are unpredictable." Eric smiled. "That's exactly what we want. Humans use brains over brawn. That's why we survive." The path grew more dangerous. A river of molten liquid blocked their way. Platforms floated on the surface, shifting unpredictably. The humans coordinated, timing each jump and movement perfectly. Even the smallest mistake could have been fatal, but humans moved with focus, intelligence, and trust. Above the river, flying predators swooped down. Peter launched flares and Alice activated sensors that projected bright lights to distract them. Lily guided the team from behind, ensuring every movement was safe. Eric led the group across, step by step. Finally, they reached the base of the final cliff, where the Crystal of Endurance was kept. The cliff was massive, sheer, and slick from rain. Alien energy fields surrounded it, creating puzzles and barriers. Alice examined the energy fields. These are timed and reactive. One wrong move could trigger a trap. Eric nodded. Then we move carefully, step by step, and think ahead. The humans began the climb. The energy fields shifted unpredictably, but their observation skills and coordination allowed them to find safe paths. Peter steadied Alice when she lost balance. Lily calculated timing and guided Eric. Together, they moved as a unit. Halfway up, a massive energy surge threatened to push them back. Eric yelled, "Brace yourselves. Move together, hold each other steady." The surge passed, and they continued. Every step was dangerous, every movement critical. Humans had faced worse, but never like this. All challenges at once, testing mind, body, and spirit. Finally, they reached the platform where the Crystal of Endurance floated, glowing with bright light. Eric stepped forward and carefully grabbed it. The energy pulsed, sensing their courage and intelligence. The crystal recognized their achievement. Suddenly, alarms blared. The descent was now a challenge in itself. Alien predators and traps appeared along the way. But humans had proven themselves already. They moved together, thinking quickly and coordinating every step. Alice used sensors to detect traps. Peter used flares to distract creatures. Lily coordinated signals and timing. Eric led the way, guiding the team through collapsing platforms, windstorms, and shifting rocks. Step by step, the humans descended. Their coordination, intelligence, and courage allowed them to navigate dangers that would have killed others. Other species watched in awe. No species had completed this trial before, yet here were humans, small but fearless, moving as one. Finally, the humans reached the summit's central platform. Eric placed the Crystal of Endurance in its holder. A brilliant light shot into the sky, signaling the completion of the final challenge. The holographic panel appeared again. "Humans," it said, "you have accomplished the impossible. You have faced the trials of Varkin 9 with courage, intelligence, and cooperation. No species has succeeded in all aspects of this summit. You have proven that humans are extraordinary. Your presence here will be remembered across galaxies as a symbol of resilience and ingenuity." Eric looked at his team. "We did it. Humans survive, adapt, and excel no matter the challenge. That is what makes us remarkable." Alice smiled, exhausted but proud. "We've faced predators, puzzles, storms, and alien judgment, and we made it." Peter laughed. "Impossible situations, unbelievable danger, and yet we came through. Humans are something else." Lily nodded. "We survived together, used our minds, and stayed courageous. That's what makes us human." The other species began to approach, some in awe, others with curiosity. Many had never seen humans act with such intelligence, courage, and cooperation. Some even bowed or gestured respect. Humans, small and fragile-looking, had surpassed expectations. Eric addressed the gathering. "Humans are not the strongest in size or power. But we survive because we think, we cooperate, and we face challenges with courage. That is why we are here. That is what makes humans extraordinary." The summit organizers nodded. The silver-skinned alien spoke. "You have changed the perception of humans. You are no longer seen as fragile or weak. You are respected. You are remembered." As the humans returned to the horizon, a sense of pride filled them. They had faced unimaginable danger, solved impossible problems, and interacted with species that had never encountered humans before. They had survived Varkin 9 Deathworld trials and proven that human ingenuity, courage, and teamwork were unmatched. Eric looked at his team as the horizon lifted off. "We came to the Deathworld summit as guests, perhaps underestimated, but we leave as a symbol of human resilience. They expected weakness and they found strength. They expected fear and they found courage. And they expected fragility and they found intelligence and spirit. Alice smiled. Humans are capable of more than anyone ever imagined. Peter laughed. And they'll remember it. Every species here will talk about the humans who survived the impossible. Lily added, "We've proven that humans belong among the strongest and smartest species in the galaxy, and will continue to do so." The stars stretched across the sky as the horizon returned to orbit. Humans had faced death worlds, predators, puzzles, and alien judgment. They had survived and thrived, and in doing so they had shown that survival was not just about strength or speed, it was about intelligence, courage, creativity, and unbreakable teamwork. Eric looked out at the galaxy, a faint smile on his face. Humans survive, humans adapt, humans excel, and the galaxy will never forget it. And with that, the humans left Varkin 9 behind, not as fragile creatures from a distant planet, but as a species that had earned respect across the stars, a species that embodied the very essence of HFY, humanity, the strongest of all.